Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name is Josh, and I have 4 young teenagers from the West Coast, except for Chloe, who is absolutely in Chicago, where the big silver bean lives. I think that's what it's called. I don't know what I've been there once. I don't know what it is, but that's really cool. And we were talking a little bit earlier, and none of these girls have actually met each other in person. They have all just come together in this mishmash of like hurt, for lack of a better term, for what has happened to you guys. And I just want to say before we get started, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy days, homework, and all that kind of stuff to come hang out with a old fat dad. I appreciate it. What got you guys started into liking Jesssfam? Where did it all start for you? Hannah, you go first.
Well, as like a kid, I was really on the internet. Like I had YouTube, I didn't really have anything else. So I got into like family vlogging, and then watching another family, and then who knew Jess. So then I kind of started watching Jess, and then I like found out about fan pages, and then I made one for the family before, and then I switched to the new account about cool. Jess.
Right, and so that was just something that started when you were younger, that you just really liked them, and it just kind of grew you kind of grew with her. Like you grew up kind of watching her.
Yeah, kind of. Like okay. my from like I want to say 11 through like 13-ish.
How big was your fan page? And it was just for Jesssfam, right?
Yeah, when I left which was like a year ago. I had about 300 something, which was pretty big, I guess. For
that's awesome.
Our fandom at the time.
I mean, awesome, but awesome. You know, awesome that you worked at it and that's what you did. That's great. Okay, Juliet, how did you learn of Jesssfam, and how did you become a fan?
I kind of started when I was in the 8th grade, which was like fall of 2019. We were supposed to go to Disneyland, and so I started kind of getting into like a Disneyland sort of obsession, and I started watching videos and stuff. So and Jesssfam kind of popped up. So that was the first time I saw Jess, and then I never really went back to her stuff or anything. I just kind of watched her Disney vlogs. So then we fast forward to like March of quarantine. Like really when quarantine started, I really kind of dove into her videos, and I just kind of started binging them all the time because I was just so bored. And then like I think June, I made a fan page. I decided I want to make a fan page for her. And then I just started kind of getting involved and talking to everyone on the fan page.
So how big was your fan page, Juliet?
It is like it's at like 595 followers, I think.
Wow.
And I had a few edits like really blow up that had like 1,000 views. So yeah.
Okay, great. All right, Serena, tell me a little bit about how you came to know Jesssfam.
Okay, so I watched Jess for like quite a while. I think it's been like 5 or 6 years now. And about 2 years ago, I was a fan page for her. And my fan page actually got deleted around like 1,000 followers. And I didn't really return to her fandom. I just like had a spam account where I would go live and stuff, and like I was still friends with people that were fans with her. So yeah, I haven't had a fan page for her really since. So
did you just like fall out of fandom, or what? How did this all kind of come to where you guys did the live?
Well, when I was in the fandom, we had like a big group chat of just like friends that we all made and stuff. And so that's how I met all of these.
That's cool. I think there's something here that's a little bit telling and really cool at the same time. Is like you guys chose something you all came together with, and you made friends, which is one great positive thing that did come out of this, which I think is cool. Like we can't ignore that. And I think that's pretty cool. Chloe, how did you come to know Jesssfam? Because you are actually the one that's on the, you're in the Midwest, like I am, right near the East or whatever. I don't know where you are. It's somewhere in the middle, I think. I don't know. But how did you come to know Jesssfam, and then how did you get connected in here?
I've been watching Jesssfam for like a really long time, since I was 6, because I had this whole obsession with family bloggers, like you name them all.
Okay.
So that like went on for a couple years until I have to bring Sunkissed Mama into this, because that's what my fan page was mostly about.
Okay.
So if that's okay with you, can I
absolutely
bring that up?
Absolutely.
So I actually was watching Sunkissed Mama before the Jesssfam, and there was one viral video of her that got me interested.
So what video was that? I think you're going to be our resident Sunkissed Mama aficionado, which is good because there's going to be some stuff we need to know about her, which I'm interested in because I didn't know her until about a month and a half ago, and then she started hitting the radar. So you're going to be my pro, I think, on that.
What brought me to my fan pages was when they went to Disneyland with each other for like the first time. And yeah, that's how it all basically started. That inspired me.
Well, that's interesting because that's what Sunkissed Mama was trying to achieve by attaching her star to Jesssfam, right? Or vice versa, right? So you were already a Sunkissed Mama follower, and then you became a Jesssfam follower. Likely Hannah, Juliet, and Serena, I was going to call you Sarnia, and that's in Canada, are likely became Sunkissed followers because of Jesssfam, if I'm correct, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
I was a little bit of...
Oh, go ahead. Hannah, go ahead.
You can go ahead.
Oh, I mean, like, I could never, like, sit down and watch one of Talia's videos. I, like, wanted to, but I just never, like, could actually find time to.
Okay.
But I did follow her, so, I mean, if that counts because of Chloe, that's kind of the reason why I followed Talia, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay, Serena, you had something to say?
I actually found Talia a little bit before she like met Jess, but most people I know that were like in Jess's fandom didn't even watch Talia. Like, I don't know. I found her like a bit before.
Chloe, I'm gonna go to you for a second. You are the resident Talia, pro. When you started watching her, how many subscribers did she have?
About around 90K.
90K. And how many years ago was that?
How old was I when I was 11?
3 years ago?
3 years
Yeah,
ago,
like 3-4 years ago.
So she's grown 110,000 in 3 or 4 years, which isn't crazy. But if you think about from the point that Jesssfam became part of her circle, her star has risen. But I think what you guys are saying is what a lot of people are saying is that Jess says follow her because she's my friend, but nobody actually watches her because her stuff's garbage. That's my take on it anyway. That's what I kind of think. Okay, so next question, we'll go through it quickly. What do you like about Jesssfam? I mean, there's got to be a reason you guys created fan pages. And so Hannah, what's your big draw?
Well, for me, I just liked her personality and how like warm she was to like her kids, her family, her friends, you know, and like how she was like supportive to pretty much everyone, it looked like. So that was the reason that I got it.
Okay, cool. Juliet.
Kind of the same reason. I kind of really like latched onto her because I'm also a step kid, and I love my stepmom and my stepdad, so don't get that mixed up. But I really latched on to how, you know, she treated her stepkids, because a lot of the time, you know, stepmoms are kind of like crapped on, and it was really nice to see like a positive stepmom and like stepson relationship. And the same thing Hannah said, her like personality and her like warmth, it just like was very comforting at that time. And yeah.
Good. It's something you're connecting on a personal level because you're experiencing. That's cool. Interesting. Serena, what was your draw?
Okay, well, I thought, at least from the outside, that she seemed like a really genuine, like real influencer who like seemed very genuine as a person, and she didn't seem fake, which I can disagree with now, but that's what initially made me really attracted to her.
And that's why I'm asking this question, because it's important to see where you came from to what happened recently, right? So you guys have been fans for years, and you started fan pages, you built friendships and all that kind of stuff. What is the day-to-day like to-do list? Sorry, I'll get Chloe back in. What is your day-to-day? No, that's okay. What is your day-to-day to-do list as a person with a fan page? Like what do you do? Like you just find a picture of theirs, you re-edit it. What do you guys do to create these little pages, and why do you do it? So go ahead, Hannah.
For me, well, I don't really edit like families anymore because that's just not my deal. But at the time, I would like get like a bunch of motivation. So I would find like an audio, and then I would go on their page, and I would find like 8 to 10-ish photos or clips, and I like edit it with some transitions and stuff. But, yeah.
So it's something that can be pretty time consuming, and you guys did this because you were fans and you wanted to draw people to you to say, hey, look, we're like-minded, let's make some friends. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Juliet, what was your day to day like? Did you guys do a ton of stuff, or is it just, guys? I'm interested in this because I don't have any fan pages, and I get it because look at this mustache. I understand. But is it just something? It's just because you really like her, or is it because you guys wanted to find other people that were like minded?
I think it was definitely a bit of both. Personally, like editing, I've been editing for like since I was like 10. My edits at that time weren't great, but I kind of started off with like Emma Chamberlain and, slowly kind of fell off. Anyways, eventually I ended up at Jesssfam. And for me recently, edits take way longer because I add special things to them, whatever, and I have to like download her YouTube videos and stuff. So that's definitely very time consuming, but I really liked once I got into editing and, realizing there was more fan pages. It was nice. It was like having a community, like someone you can talk to that like understands you, like you can talk to them. Like, I really like Jess's new video, which you don't have a lot of the time when you're talking to like school friends and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of people they're like, Jesssfam who? They don't care, right? They're just like, Jake Paul's my whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm out of touch.
pretty much.
All right, Serena, what was your like when your fan? You said you dropped your fan page a while back, but it sounds like, and if I'm correct, it just sounds like you built it, made some friends, and were like, hey, I just like the friends I made.
Yeah, it consisted of a lot of like being very stressed out by editing. I know all of us can attest to that. Like, editing was very stressful because like you have all these opinions coming for like your little edits, which makes no sense why people care so much. But like, because also like it would be the pressure of like, oh, are they gonna see this? Like, all that kind of stuff. So I know for me, it always felt very stressful and draining to like be running a fan page. But it was nice though, because you like got to meet a lot of new friends, and like all these friends are like some of my closest friends I have.
No, I that's really cool. You touched on a point that I want to talk about. Is that the pressure? And I'm sorry, Chloe, we'll get to you in a second. So, Chloe, when you did your fan page, what was it that you did for Sunkissed? Did you do the same type of thing? And I feel like Sunkissed doesn't have as many fan pages, so it sounds like that you might have maybe been a little closer. I don't know. I'm just saying that. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's basically my whole story. I'm the only Sunkissed Mama fan page.
And now
So
no longer.
we love to say that the Jesssfam fandom adopted me.
That's great. Okay, that's cool. I mean, that makes sense. But I need to touch on this thing that you said, Serena, is this pressure that you guys would make an edit, and then do you find that you would get a bunch of snark or a bunch of people leaving hate comments? I say hate comments for lack of a better term, just like, unkind things about maybe something you did. Would they make fun of what you did? Or was it just like, what were some of the things that in your memory were like, why would people say something like that? What was the stress about?
People like were so judgmental of your edits for no reason. Like, people would be talking about like behind people's backs about it, which is so stupid. And also it's like so much pressure because it's like, oh, I want them to notice this edit really bad. Like, I just like want them to know that I exist. So it's like you feel like you have to be perfect for like enough people to tag them, or like when your edits start to like drop in likes and stuff, it gets really toxic. I know, because it's like, oh, well, this has to be better than the last one because the last one didn't do good and stuff like that. And it can genuinely get into that sort of mindset with a lot of people. So like it's hard to find the balance a lot of the times between like how much you love your stan or how much you like the attention, which sounds really bad now that I'm thinking about that. But like it gets into this toxic mindset where it's like, oh, my edits aren't doing good enough, like I'm not a good enough fan.
Well, that's a good point, because maybe Juliet, you can answer this one. Did these people ever reach out to you to say thanks for making fan pages? Because I think a point I'm trying to make here is that fan pages only increase their status, right? To have a fan page means that you have fans that are dedicated enough to know everything about your family, to know everything about your intimate details of your life, that they'll create fan pages and do edits and all that kind of stuff. I do edits of family vloggers, but what I do is I blow their head up really big and I make their hands really small, and it's really fun. I just do different ones. If you go on my Instagram, you can see them. They're really funny. Did any of these influencers, did Jesssfam reach out to you guys ever?
For me, I think Jess liked one of my posts, and that was for Addie's birthday. And I had made an edit for Chloe that was of Talia, because that was like her number one stan or whatever. And so I made it for her, and I had tagged Talia and Chloe. So in the comment was just like, you guys are so special, which was really sweet. But I have like messaged long paragraphs to Jess about like how much, you know, why I watch her videos and like how much she means to me. I've never gotten a response.
Really?
And the first time I've ever had an interaction with Jess was in this whole situation when she slid up on my story.
And we'll get to that. It's going to be crazy. Hannah, what about you? Have you been approached? Did you get any love or anything from them?
I have two funny stories recalling back to this, but I think I've only got noticed like one or two likes on a post. And the funny thing is, one of my posts when I was still active, like everyone in the comment section like tagged her, and she didn't see at all. There was like probably, I want to say 60 comments tagging her. She didn't see.
Oh no.
And like for every comment, like if you're tagged in the post, you know, for every comment it's like
blah,
it
comes
blah,
into an inbox. Yeah, it comes into your inbox. Yep.
Yeah. But like a page she followed made pretty much the exact thing, but just in picture form, because I put it in like a whole little video. She liked that one. So
that's again, this is why I'm alluding to something here. But Chloe, did Sunkissed ever reach out to you for being a number one stan? Tell me your interactions with Sunkissed.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to have these opportunities from Talia, since I was the only fan page, and it was much easier for me. So yeah, over the past 2 years, I've created this bond towards her, and in a way, she was like my second mother, because she gave me this advice. She gave me advice that I took to her, and I still will. And like under the circumstances that happened. But yeah, I'm very lucky enough to have these. And with Jesssfam, again, it's with Talia, because whatever Talia posts, Jess will see. So I was lucky enough that Jess was able to see in my posts.
So it sounds like your hard work paid off. Hannah and Juliet got shafted. I mean, it is what it is. And I'm not saying that, again, I don't think that these people are absolutely the most terrible people on earth. What I'm trying to do is kind of dismantle this world that they've built for themselves with people who stand them, right? Who literally live and breathe their content, and basically ignore them. And when Serena pops back, I'm going to ask her a question here. There was the one I want to do. Here's a question here. Were you guys ever influenced in a way by Jesssfam that being a teen mom is like, did that ever come across your mind? Like, I could do this. It's cool because she did it. I'm not saying you guys are going to go get pregnant, but I'm saying, did that ever become part of this whole fandom for you?
I can definitely answer that with a no, because I come from teen parents. So it's like, I've always known that I wanted for myself, but I do, like, she makes it seem like it was great experience. Like, I feel like in a way kind of encouraging it, which if you're a teen mom, like, I have nothing against that. Like, it shouldn't be like what you're teaching kids. It's okay to be doing this and to be getting pregnant and stuff like that.
So do you guys think that as fans of a teen mom, does that play a role in how you liked her? Is that any part of her personality that you liked?
Not really the teen mom aspect, but more about like how, sorry, my voice just cracked. How like, how young she was. So like she kind of not necessarily like understood our problems more, but like she was like more accepting and more like understanding of people, of like younger people's problems. Cause you know, she's still like in her 20s, you know? Yeah.
And I feel like, if the one thing that kind of stood out amongst all the conversations the thing that stood out to me was that she is, I don't know if you guys know what the term arrested development stands for, but Jess is basically, was stuck in 17. Like, she's stuck as a teenager because she's developmentally arrested at that point in her life. I mean, I'm just making it up, but basically it seems that way for the way that she acts, especially how she treated you guys, which is it's a good segue into here. But what went down that you guys decided, what led up to this live that friggin' exploded their entire world up to this point?
Okay, I can start with that.
Okay.
So I had FaceTimed Hannah because I had seen like Jess and Talia just constantly posting about how they can't go to Disneyland and everything, and over multiple days and like making all these COVID jokes, and it was like upsetting to me. So I had FaceTimed Hannah to tell her about it, and that we wanted to go on Instagram Live because like my spam account, I basically just dedicated it to always going on live. Like, I don't know, I like to do that. People enjoyed them. And usually if I'd start talking about something, more people would start talking about it. So I decided to go on live with Hannah, and it wasn't hateful at all. It was like just me being emotional and like talking about why I'm upset and everything. And then I just like ended the live and I kept it posted on my account, and a bunch of people reshared it, including Chloe, which I'll let her talk about that.
Okay, so yeah, and then go ahead, Chloe. Where do you pop into this?
So I very much agreed with Serena said. I had this in a comment, but I deleted it because I saw she was watching it. I was like, maybe I probably should not get into that. But I was afraid of the backlash because I was seeing the comments and like how they react. I was like, okay, it wouldn't hurt. I posted something on my story, like a quick update, because I wasn't active on my Lovely.Sunkissed mom because of school. So I was like, okay, maybe I should pop in a bit. And then I expressed how it's sad that when you looked up to someone, half of your life disappoints you. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should start doing more. So I reposted the live. And then in a way, I kind of called out Talia about the not wearing mask at Disney. I was like, if you're ever going to Disneyland, make sure to follow the rules. There's employees and in the ride system, they tell you to wear your mask. I
gotta say this, so you guys are 10 times more mature than him, but it shouldn't be being told by your teenage fans who are literally in like grade 9 or whatever you guys are to tell you how to you should be, because they're influencers, and the point is that you guys are directly influenced by them, and you guys are telling them, hey, we're not trying to hate on you, and you guys aren't, and I know that. I can sit here and listen to you girls and just say, like, you guys have your heads, like, you guys are very smart. I really appreciate, this is why I think it's so super interesting to talk to you in this world that you live in. It's so interesting. Not a lot of people get a glimpse into this, and this is really, really valuable stuff. But if you have to tell them to follow the rules of a pandemic, that's backwards, okay? They're supposed to be showing you guys, and they're all pro-vaccine. I know that, I get all that stuff. But when you guys did that and you went down, the one thing that really, really got me, and this is for you, Juliet, is when Sunkissed came at you. And I said this in my video, it looks like she stalked your profile to find you taking pictures at Disney and was ready to call you out on it. And to me, I was like, just really? That to me hit me pretty hard.
Yeah, definitely. That was probably one of the craziest things about this situation is I posted on my fan page story because all my friends are on there, and I'm like, not all of you follow my main. So like, here, this is my Disney post, like go like it or whatever, go check it out. And in some of those photos, I wasn't wearing a mask because we were taking pictures, but my mask was always visible in my hand or under my chin. And for me, I have a little sister who is actually getting her first dose of vaccine tomorrow, but she is 10 and she couldn't be vaccinated. So all through quarantine, we've been super careful. I never returned to school like last year because I didn't want to, get her sick because I was at like the height of all this. So we've all been very careful. And, I kind of wanted to call them out because I was like, you guys these are your children. I'm doing this for my sibling who I butt heads with all the time and I may not like all the time. And you guys can't even do this for like your literal children that you have birthed. And it was just so crazy to me. So
can I point out a point that you said in that video where you said you went on a road trip, or I'm not sure, was it Serena who said that, or was it you, Julia?
It was Serena said that. It was Serena.
Okay, so I got to point this out. And then someone sent me a message today of her actually on the road trip on the time that you said she was on the road trip. So she lied to you. She said, no, honey, we weren't on a road. She was absolutely on a road trip. And the fact that she was sitting there lying to your faces made me super, super, super upset. So the point that I wanted to give you a chance, Julia, to say that because she kept cutting you off, that yes, you girls are taking this seriously and they were just looking for stuff to come at you for. To what end? Because It didn't even make any sense. It's you guys, they don't come, and this is the one point I wanted to make, is that you guys were maybe have had one interaction with them by them liking one post over the years that you've done this. But as soon as you have negative things to say, all of a sudden they're up in your chat. So before we get there, Hannah, what led up to you being there?
Well, as Serena said, we were FaceTiming, and then they were like, I really want to say how I feel because, you know, they kind of have like a platform because people really do listen to what they say.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, let's go live. And I joined them, and I was kind of just like there, like listening,
Support.
Yeah, and like encouraging and kind of commenting, like watching the comments. And then we talked about it in our group chat, how we felt, and Chloe posted the thing, and Talia saw, and Chloe was panicking, and I was like away from my phone for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I came back, and Chloe was live, so I went live with her, and Talia joined. This wasn't the live. This was like
this is a different one.
There were
Chloe,
3 live.
Okay,
I'm so sorry
I've only seen the one, but Chloe, please go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
No, that's okay.
That's what people are forgetting, that there was other lives to this, and like as in Talia's words on her apology, people immediately jump on the bandwagon. So that's what people were doing towards Talia when people didn't know there was another live before that really initiated things.
So what happened in the first live then? I didn't see them, and they're probably posted somewhere. But what happened?
They're not posted. I think I deleted them because I was crying on that live.
Yeah, Chloe.
Exactly
it sounds like Chloe. It sounds to me that Chloe, you're having anxiety over this. You were struggling with this. It didn't sound like something you like. It sounds like you were really, really battling with. You wanted to call her out, but you still really, really loved her, and but it was like you were really struggling with it. And then you took the high road and said, "Look, I don't care. We have to make sure that these people are being held accountable for the actions." Which I think I'm not sure who did it, who said it. I don't know, it was Serena or Juliet. One of you said it. It was like when you're traveling all the time, and then you're not getting tested when you get back from those traveling places. Basically, it was Serena who said it. That to me was the biggest aha moment of the entire thing. It was like, look. And Serena called her out for the hand. She's like, "That's not. There's a handbook." And you're like, "Well, there's a handbook. There's a bit of a handbook that you can. There is a handbook." And I think that was one of the biggest points here that they missed, and they got schooled by you guys. Was, yes, when you travel to New York and don't wear a mask on a subway, or you go to these events and you're out in downtown Manhattan. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Manhattan. That place is packed. Okay, it's crazy, and it's full of like people breathing into your eyeballs. So I get it. And so what you're saying, and I don't think this got across, and I hope this is what you guys are saying, and I think it was, is that when you do all these traveling, go to Disney, you go to all these things, and you get back and you don't test, that's where the irresponsibility comes in.
Yeah, and also like not just not testing, but then going and seeing people who also have been doing the same things and not getting tested, and then being around your kids that aren't able to get vaccinated. It's just like, what? Like, you're not making sense if you're so passionate about saying like safe and stuff like that.
I'd also like to add, like, there were actually 3 lives. Chloe panicking, Chloe.
You're done. Basically me panicking.
Yeah, the second one.
There's a new channel coming up. It's called Chloe Panics, and we throw
It's
stuff
my new
at Chloe.
fan page, guys.
The first one was Chloe panicking. Talia joined but then left. The second live the next day, or like a few days after, Talia joined, and that's when she was really commenting, and yeah. The third one is the one she joined. So that's
okay.
The order.
So was her attitude, and when she came up in those other lives that we're not going to see because they've been deleted, was it the same, or was she nicer?
No.
First one she didn't talk, so.
The first one she just
okay.
I would like to add on, like, from what we were talking about earlier about the whole anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Even doing this, I still feel like that I'm betraying them because, again, with the amount of opportunities and the amount of love and support that they gave me,
mm-hmm.
I don't think that I could like ever hate all of them for a situation like this, or like have that pure hatred. And I hope if they're watching this, this is not a hatred towards you at all. I think I like still love you guys because with the whole like bond and everything. There's like so many things to this relationship I have with like all of them.
Well, Chloe, again, I'm going to go back to what's kind of breaking my heart about this is that it doesn't sound like you want to burn a bridge, and that's fine, and I get that. But they did. And the problem is that, the relationship that you had, was it genuine? Because as soon as you didn't have the right thing to say to her, she turned on you guys, basically, right? And then, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, I don't want to put words in her mouth either, because it sounds like you have a different relationship with Sunkissed than the rest in the group.
I was going through my DMs with Talia, and I was like, oh. Then I just wanted to question, how did she get all of those, like, I'm sorry if this doesn't make sense. How did she get all of that from one opinion to assume that I would actually, like, be hating on you, Well, let me kind of break down. Maybe I can help you explain it a little bit, especially from someone who I'm not an influencer. Look, for lack of a better term, I kind of get, so what happens on the internet, right? Everything is amplified. All the good stuff, especially, I used to be a pastor at a church, used to be a music pastor, okay? And this is one of the experiences that you have as an adult, and if you're in the public eye for whatever reason, okay? So all the praise that you get, it's great, okay? But as soon as you get one comment or one kind of hurtful thing that happens to you, that is amplified tenfold over any compliments you've ever gotten. You always remember the bad things that have happened to you, or bad things that have been said to you or about you. And I say bad things. I don't think what you guys said was bad. I just think what happened was you gotta understand that their content is literally Disney. That's the rest of their videos, and even their Disney videos, they're all garbage, okay, guys? Like, and this is just me being real. Like, none of their stuff is good, okay? But their Disney stuff is a draw for them, and it's like having a baby. They get a lot of content. For every 100 and 200,000 views that Jesssfam gets, okay, she makes like 8 figures a year in her channel. She makes a lot of money. That's big bucks for her. So when you guys stepped on her into her world to say this is what you're doing is irresponsible, what it did was trigger her to say, you're messing with my wallet. That's exactly what's happening here. Don't take it personally. This is her money that you guys are messing with. And that is why they tried to apologize, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But okay, go back to the live. So when they came to your live, you have to accept them into the live. Clear it up for me, whoever wants to. I think maybe Juliet, clear this up for me. Did they want to come into live? Did you beg them to come into live? I think this is what she was saying on her comments.
No, we actually watched, I think it was a lady named Sincerely Sharon. She made a video on this, and she talked about how the first part of the live is literally just like listening into as if we were at a sleepover and we were like talking about something. We were never begging them like, we want Talia to join. Like, oh my God, what if Talia joined? It was like, no, it was a goodbye for Chloe. That was really what the live's main purpose was. And it was just kind of us like, I don't know, processing what had just happened like in the past few hours. And we were just kind of like, okay, this happened. They said this is how we feel. And we kind of just talked about that. And then all of a sudden she joins and we're like, oh,
oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is where we get to the level where it's like, okay, she gets in there. You guys, I'm sure Chloe's going full on anxiety at this point.
Okay, yeah, I want to add to that. So yeah, from the past 2 lives, that's happened. She just pops in randomly. So I get really nervous. I'm like,
yeah, I imagine you would. Yeah.
I even stayed in the live. I was like, I didn't even mean for this to happen all like this. Like, I just wanted to just express my disappointment. As we were talking about earlier about the comments that she like on the live. I don't know if I ever got to it, but it was more of a negative tone. That's what it was giving. So during the second live, I was crying.
Okay.
Full of sobbing out to her.
And then what did she do when you were inconsolable?
She just made it worse.
She just made it worse. She was like why?
For when
screenshots of it?
Did she ask you why are you crying? You have screenshots of this?
She says, "Why are you pissed?" I was like,
okay. So Chloe was crying. I'm gonna read this like script by script.
I was spilling my heart out to her, just saying thank you for everything. Like, I was like, I didn't mean for this to all to happen. It was just me expressing. Like, I don't even hate you. Like, I hope you don't because there was the live the day before, and she said this on the live that people were sending her that live because I guess I was hating on her even though I wasn't.
You were not. I know, and I can tell that you're not a hate. I could, just by talking to you for the last half an hour, I can tell that you are not a vengeful, spiteful person.
I know who was on that live because that's why I went live. Is who joins Talia's sister Natasha, because she was the only one on that live that would have snitched because everyone was talking about the same topic.
Yeah. So this is the thing, though. The peripherals of these family vloggers, okay, like Jesssfam's mom probably goes on. They also are part of the We Agency. The We Agency actually tracks their people that hate them. They do. And they threaten them with legal action. We'll talk about that soon. They have people that do it for them because they're too darn busy to do it themselves. But Hannah, give me the play-by-play from that moment.
She said, and so Chloe was pouring her heart out, and she said, "And thank you for talking shit about us publicly." Censor warning for bad words.
So I won't swear, but if your parents allow you to, then.
Yeah, I'm just reading what she said.
Okay, that's fine.
And she said, "It really shows how appreciative you are. Sad to see it, it's all." And then we were like, and we said something along the lines of, because, there's not proof of this live other than the screenshots.
Because there was only our friends that were on that live.
Yeah, we were saying like we didn't mean for this to blow up. And she said, "It's posted everywhere. Everyone is screenshotting us. You can't even say that. Everyone's in our DMs are." And we were like,
I would like to add, we're not the only ones that have brought up this situation. Remind you, it's been in the TikTok comments. So I hope she's not confusing that way at all.
Yes, it has.
Yeah, and then we just continued saying it's more.
Well, she just wants. She'll make up her own.
Yeah, we were just saying that we were more disappointed in the way how they were handling it, like how they were, like the precautions they were taking. She was like, "Our actions. Why are you disappointed on your action being fully vaccinated and quarantining?" If you can see that.
I think it's really important to state that we were not talking about their quarantining or them being two vaccinated adults like they stated the whole time. We were talking about, like how Serena said, the not testing when they get back from a trip. And then like also when I was specifically talking about when they went to New York and they literally went to Times Square and like the subway and they were completely unmasked. And then, all about how they're making jokes about it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just important to note that it was never about them quarantining correctly or being two vaccinated adults.
Yeah, and again, and likely they wouldn't if they would just have been more careful, probably, right? Serena, I gotta go to the moment in the live where you broke down crying because you have lost people from COVID, right? This is something you guys take seriously because this is a personal loss to you, right? And then Jesssfam steps in and says, "Oh, me too," and like basically mirrors what you say. That pissed me off to no end. I don't know. I know you were literally breaking down, and she just like doesn't care about anything like that, and just me too, and mine is more than yours.
Who have passed from this, and it wasn't their fault, and it's like very disappointing because it says in the CDC guidelines, which is a handbook for you to follow, that you're supposed to, once you travel, take.
I've lost 3 people to COVID. I know. Trust me, if anybody knows, we know, which is why we vaccinated, prevented ourselves to do as much as we can. And guess what? Taking precautions, vaccinating, wearing a mask, 100% preventable. I'm sorry, that is just how it is. That is why it's a worldwide.
And then I did some research, and people have been researching out to me. I don't know who she's talking about.
Yeah,
she made that up, as far as I can tell.
I've never once heard her mention that in a vlog or in a podcast or even an Instagram story, like ever. And so it just felt very odd to me because it's like, you have a 14-year-old expressing why they're upset at you and why this affects them personally. And you just snap in with like, "Oh, well, I've lost more people than you." And it's like, that's not a competition I'd like to win. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, you can win that any day. And I know specifically, like, my family watching that was super upset about that because that was a huge loss to our family. Like, because she was genuinely the core of our family. And, like, it felt very disrespectful, honestly.
Oh, it was just, and that's why I kind of commented on it because, and don't think for a minute Jesssfam wouldn't capitalize on that type of hurt in her vlog life because those types of videos bring them tons and tons and tons of clicks and money. So if she did, she would have capitalized. She capitalized on her Grammy. So if she's not capitalizing anybody who has, she absolutely would have. And so the thing that just gets me is that you had something to say. The reason why you were upset, which was super valid, by the way, right? You were validated in what you were saying, but because you did that, she had to strike back with me too. Just so she could become, it's like victim level up. I leveled up on your victimhood so that you can't have that edge over me is exactly what she said there.
It was very unnecessary, that comment to be made out all by her, because it was like I was genuinely upset by it. So like to just like strike back at me like that was so stupid. And it was like I knew at that point I had to pull myself together and like stop being so emotional about it, because obviously she's just going to be rude throughout this entire thing, you know? So like I'm not going to let her take advantage of me being emotional about something like she just did.
But I mean, and that sucks for you because you had a moment and you were trying to say, this is why. In the end, if you think about the entire conversation, you guys in your lives and all the things you guys were concerned about, that's the reason. And that's the only reason you need. And you had a valid reason. That was her kryptonite. That's the problem when it comes to giving them. It's not because up to that point, they were like, you guys are just a bunch of teenage haters who just don't know anything about anything. All of a sudden you drop a truth bomb on her. And what is she going to do about it? That's all her she had no other way. That was her backup. That was it. That's all she had to do was she threw it up and said, no, me too. So she just, how do I say this? She was trying to disengage you by putting you underneath her.
Yeah. And also another thing that I'd like to add is it felt like if you did lose that many people, wouldn't you be being more safe in the first place?
Amen. Exactly. And that's a lot of those comments come up after we see all that, you know, when you're having a shower later and you're like, oh, I should have said that, you know, when you're having the argument in your head later on. But that's why it's good to recap and kind of re-go over what went on. So I want to get past this for a second. So the conversation went down and we saw the live. I talked about it. They were just rude to you. They just came in because they were pissed. Likely, I don't know how much they drink. Again, they're bored. They're locked into a house together. They're stupid. What they did was absolutely stupid, and they know it.
As they said, they and their kids are locked in a room for 10 days.
Yeah, exactly. So
that was a point that they made. Yeah,
it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse though to come at and berate your fans. It's just stupid. And again, they've never engaged with you ever, generally, not at all, except for Chloe, which is, you know, Chloe's got Sunkissed, but for the majority of you, none of them. And this is what happened on the Facebook group. So. There's a Facebook group called Jesssfam Support Group, some stupid, dumb thing, right? And I'm in there because I'm a ninja, okay, basically. And so what happened was people were commenting on this whole, you guys blew their world up, by the way. So, I mean, I know it wasn't your intention, and I know you guys aren't doing this for spite. You're doing it because you're genuinely concerned, and you have a right to speak your voice. But that chat was starting to blow up in there, and Jesssfam enters the chat, okay? In all her redheaded glory. And she says to these people, she starts commenting on all these people's responding back to everybody. The administrator of that group makes her a moderator, kicks Janelle out. I don't know if you guys know who Janelle is. Yeah, you guys didn't know that? Oh, I didn't. Okay, so she boots Janelle out as an administrator or as a moderator, but Janelle still sticks up for Jesssfam. This is what I've been seeing. And so Jesssfam starts going into the comments and rebutting everybody who's coming at her, who are supporting you guys, by the way, and then makes herself a moderator. And then the last comment that I saw, and that was this lady saying, Jesssfam, when we ask you where you get your pretty jeans or where you get your blush or your whatever, your eye blending, I don't know what you call that stuff. And we ask you these questions, and we genuinely love you. You never have ever answered any of our questions ever. All of a sudden, when this hits the fan, you're in here and now you're a moderator. And all of a sudden you're in this page. So that is very telling to me, and it's very similar to what happened with you guys, is no engagement until it's a negative thing, and then they have to mitigate the disaster that they created, not you guys. They created this. Let's go to Jesssfam's live. Who watched it? Okay, everybody did? Chloe, did you watch it? No, okay, so Hannah, give me your take on what you saw. You guys are all in this. You guys are, first of all, I got to point out, you guys are in high school. Okay, you got other things to worry about, like your chores, homework. You probably got things to do. You got to worry about other things, but you guys are in this. It's probably kind of exciting and at the same time a little bit stressful, specifically for Chloe, probably. But when you saw Jesssfam's live, what did you feel?
So Chloe and I had a Jesssfam group, like a Jesssfam account that I was still logged into, so I saw it, and I saw the whole live, which was really boring. And she was putting on her eyebrows or something.
Yep.
Dragging us, and I didn't even want to talk about it because it's like, it's such high school bullshit, and I wish I would have never engaged in it because it was so lame drama. But these girls were dragging us through the dirt, and people are like, oh, you just like came at these girls. And it's like, no, these girls were dragging us. Our family was contacting us saying, what are these girls talking about? Like some really mean things. And they not begged, but they were like encouraging Talia to go on their live. They were asking her to go on there. This was not just oh, we're going to go attack this fan page. It did not happen like that at all. There was some long drawn out days worth of drama before that. But that's the one thing, is I have way too much goddamn time on my hand because I should have never engaged in that. It is so stupid, the whole thing. But anyway, how's your kids feeling?
And someone brought up the situation. I forgot how they worded it, because I don't memorize people's comments. But but they said something about what happened between your fans or something, and she started going on about how she regrets joining, she regrets like being on, she regrets like engaging at all, because apparently she had too much time on her hands, so that just made her go insane. And Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Serena.
Okay, well, this is skipping ahead a little bit, but my mom and my aunt were like really heavily tagging them and coming after them and commenting not so nice things. And they might have gotten into Talia's and Jess's DMs and exchanged a few not so nice words. Okay. And I may have woken up with an apology from Jess.
Oh, you did? You got an apology from her?
A very passive apology that seemed very forced, but it was an apology.
Are you willing to read it?
I don't have the screenshot, but I think I sent them to Hannah or I sent them, somewhere to one of them.
In the mega folder? Are they in the mega folder?
I don't think I sent them in the mega folder.
You need to read what.
Okay, but can you give? What about the gist of it? Just give me the gist of it, Serena.
Okay, the gist of it was like, she was like, I shouldn't have done that in the first place. Like, you're gonna be a great, successful young lady. And like, that was pretty much all. She was just like talking about how she regrets joining.
That's not an apology either. Saying that you regret something just means that you are pissed that you got caught. That's all that is. There's no. If they didn't say, "Hey, I apologize to you," that's not an apology. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Also, I want to add that, like, in her live, she was lying straight through her teeth the entire time. She was like, "There's been multiple DM exchanges between us, very nice DMs." That's not true. They sent Juliet DMs, and she never replied to them, and they were not very nice.
Okay. I feel like Juliet. This is very important to bring up, is that a lot of people jumping into the situation from Chloe's live that Sunkissed Mama joined, they did not see the whole thing. The whole thing was, at first, the I have left the fandom previously because Jess was so irresponsible with COVID. So this is just kind of like the second time this has happened and it's been brought up. So I posted her caption. It was a picture with her and Addie, and she talks about how 7 days left of this nightmare. It's her second most recent post. It's this one with Addie.
I remember that one. Yes, yeah. I remember that one.
And she talks about how she's literally taking Addie early out of quarantine to go to Disney World. And so I posted it on my story and I was like, I'm literally livid right now. And then I made a video and I was like, so glad you can take Addie out. Like, I was being very sarcastic, but this is because I had already watched Serena's live because Chloe was like, you need to go watch this. And I was like, okay. And so I watched it and I was like, I very much agreed with them. And so I wanted to, like, I don't know, put my opinion on it. And so that was kind of seeing that, I was like, okay, I feel like I need to talk about this. So I said, I'm literally livid right now. So then I posted a video on my story that was very sarcastic. And I was like, so glad Jess can go to Disney World and that it was such a nightmare or whatever. I can't exactly remember what I said, but I was very,
you're
very
snarky.
sarcastic.
That's okay. Yeah, it's all right. You're allowed to be snarky.
Yeah. So then our friend in the fandom swiped up on it and said something about it was I think it's in the folder, but it said something like oh yeah, what a nightmare, like you have food and water and you're able to quarantine with like your best friend and this is what a nightmare. So
yes, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I posted that on my story and I was like, And then Chloe posted that on her story. And that's kind of where Talia saw it. And then Jess saw. And so Talia went from Chloe's account to my account and slid up on my story and said this. She said, you don't have anything better to do? Oh boy. You need to look up the CDC and do your research. You have no idea what you're talking about. You over here trying to support a mother, then tear her down with your little friends. I would never give my energy into something this lame. But seriously, sis, you have no idea what you're talking about. We've done everything we can and more. So that was the first DM I got.
It's just unnecessary. There's no reason. Okay, if you've done everything again, then do your thing. Stop justifying. If you have to say the thing, you're not the thing. You have to continue to say it. When everybody keeps calling you out on the thing, and you have to keep saying, no, it is the thing. So, sorry, Chloe, you need to say something.
Yeah. She also slid up on my story because I reposted that because I was on a break because I was like, okay, I needed to stop from all of this. But no, I saw that. I was like, I think I should post that. Maybe they'll see it. Because it's just like I'm not in their perspectives. Like, I don't know. I'm not the one who had COVID, but I feel like the way that they were recording, it was like best out of the situation. It was like, I don't think it was like the worst. It was like not the worst thing.
Well, again, they weren't really, really sick, guys. They were basically almost asymptomatic for the most part. They got they got the good side of it, but their problem was that they couldn't go out and go to Target every 2 days and go to Disney and then go to the theater and then go to all these things. They couldn't do all these things. That's the biggest problem, and you guys are validated in this, guys. Look, what you're saying is correct, is that they are super tone deaf to their privilege. There's people dying. Some of her family has died. People all over the world are struggling to work, do this, go places, whatever, and just live normal lives. And they're sitting here, and the worst thing for them is the fact that they just can't go to Disney. And they got Netflix all day. There's so many good shows on there. You got everything you can do, but they can't do the thing that they need to do, which is vlog to make money. That's the problem. Nobody wants to watch a vlog of them sitting on their butt playing Uno or whatever, right? It just doesn't work. That's the problem here. And that they can't go to Disney, which is their big money. Okay, but I want to go back to Sunkissed Mama issued you guys an apology, right? She issued an apology on her page, basically to everybody, right? So we got to give her credit because at least she apologized.
I kind of find it funny because she blocked most of us. So
She blocked
I
me
wouldn't have
yesterday.
even been able to I wouldn't have even been able to see it if it wasn't for people sending it to us. So it kind of felt like it wasn't even meant for us in a sense.
Yeah.
Serena, can I make a suggestion, please? You should go to law school. You should go to law school. Be a lawyer.
Turn the lawyer.
Yes, yeah, good. I mean, it's brilliant. You're exactly right. They block you because you're haters, right? Except for the whole 3 or 4 years you guys have just been loving on them. Okay, they block you because for whatever reason, and then they apologize to you, but you can't see it. It's a huge, good point that you've made there. Incredible point. And again, this is the things that people need to call them out for, and they are being called out in all the tattle lifes and all the places on Reddit. They're being called out completely for what they did. But we do have to give Talia some credit for apology. Did she inbox you an apology?
I got one.
Chloe did? Can you give me the gist of it?
Yeah, I was like debating, should I share this, because I still get that feeling of, am I betraying her? You know.
No, you don't have to read it, but
it's
just basically,
yeah.
if you feel like it's a justified apology, then you can just say that. You don't have to give me the goods.
I'm still unsure with the whole thing, because what happens if she's just doing it just to show, like, so the hate would stop towards her and
That's
everything.
exactly what she's doing.
So like, yeah, no, was like, is this really sincere? It was just basically that she should have never gotten into the situation, and that she no wait. There's like these. I'm confusing the two apologies. Okay. One on the story. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just basically her like saying, keep your sparkle up and everything. She said these words to me before, and I do really take them to heart. But
yeah,
it
sounds like you guys. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to say, for all this, at least we have to give her the look. Jesssfam will not, because she's a prideful person who. Jesssfam lives for Jesssfam. She literally has the word Jesssfam on her living room wall. If you walk into someone's house and they have their name on the wall, don't be friends with them, okay? Everybody just be like, hey, cool, bye, ghost them, okay? Because that is a this is something I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going to teach you, I'm going to school you guys, I'll take you to church, okay? Somebody like Jesssfam and family vloggers in the end, okay? And I don't want to disenfranchise you from everybody, because you like who you like, and I'm not going to judge you for it. But family vlogging on a whole, in its core, is what's called child exploitation. And it's not like child trafficking or anything crazy like that. But at its core, these family vloggers, what they do is they film their entire lives. They film temper tantrums. They film kids going to the hospital. They film kids getting their teeth done and all these kind of things that are, and what you guys don't see, because you're 14 and I almost don't want to tell you this, because I don't want to like disenfranchise you, but there's a whole group of gross people on the internet who live for the content that these family vloggers post, okay? And it's bad things that they want to do with this content. It's not good. And these family vloggers know it. And I've exposed the analytics, specifically for the LeBrant family and other young influencer girls, especially teenagers and up and coming. Everly LeBrant from the LeBrant, Sav, her Instagram with 4.5 million subscribers is 75% men over the age of 24 watching her on the analytics of who's watching her, okay? And exactly. So when Lilia, which I think is Jesssfam's oldest, right? Yeah. She's going to be she wants to be a YouTuber. She wants to do the Instagram. She wants to be the singer. She wants to do all that stuff because Jesssfam, she wants to be like her mom, because the only way that they engage with their parents and get the good stuff is when they're doing good content. Jesssfam is not who she is, who you guys think she is. And here, I'm going to tell you, I got some inside information today, literally 2 hours ago. I got a message from someone on the inside of Jesssfam's circle. They were at a birthday party, and this is just a small example. And I don't know which kid punched another kid at this birthday party. One of her kids punched another kid, okay? And instead of asking, why did you punch the kid, Jesssfam asked that kid, what did you do to deserve to be punched by my son? Okay? And this obviously not going to be in a vlog because it doesn't make Jesssfam look good. But what you guys don't see is, and this person said, that's just a tiny sample of who they really are when the camera's not turned off. And again, you like who you like, and maybe what they put on is a facade and it makes you feel good, and that's great. And maybe there's a benefit to that. But in the end, everything that you see is fake. They are not like that. Jesssfam is a self-centered, very selfish person whose whole world, whole family, everything is built around Jesssfam. Her kids are her actors. They're part of her play. They're part of her show. Her husband, part of her show. The stepkids, part of the show. Baby daddies, part of her show. Jesssfam is the center of her own universe. And everybody's like, well, she's so genuine, she's so loving, but Jesssfam only loves herself. Everybody is just part of her world. And that's, again, part of this whole thing that's drawn me to this, because she's one of the worst, because she comes off as one of the most innocent. So, I don't know, give me your thoughts. What do you think?
That's so crazy to me. Like, I can't believe that. Like, I know for a fact that, like, if any other mom were to act like that, that would be so unacceptable, like, to people. So, like, I still cannot fathom the fact that she actually said that to, like, a kid. And that even shows more in detail, like, how she was so okay with doing us to this, because obviously, even in person, she isn't the kindest to children.
Well, she's not kind to anybody, because she, again, when I said that earlier, when someone shows you who they are, you got to believe them. And what they showed you was their true colors. That is who they are. And think about this. They're worse than that, too. The problem is when her kid punched another kid, okay, she's raising, and again, it's not her kid's fault. Their kids are being raised to be this way. They're being raised to do whatever they want, because Jesssfam needs to make content. She needs to have the cameras babysit them. Kid almost, you guys have seen all the videos. Kid backsplashing into the pool, could have killed himself. They had to look on the cameras to see what happened. All these types of things. But the idea of her telling, well, what did you deserve to be punched? That's absolutely inappropriate. That's victim blaming, for one. Two, she did that when she called the principal and said, why did you give my kid crap for giving a kid a high five, right? Everybody else is to blame but her whole thing. And the family that she's creating is going to turn into these types of individuals that will perpetuate this type of behavior. And so what I'm trying to do here on this channel, for the most part, is to say that that's not acceptable. These things, the way that they influence people, that is not real. And you should never hold yourselves, Chloe, and this is more for you than anybody else here. Don't hold yourself to Talia's standard, to who you think she really is, because it's not who she is. You'll never live up to any of these people's influence and what they show you, because it's fake. They only show you the best 10 minutes of their life. The rest is garbage. And so I want to just encourage you all here to just know that it's fake, and just always have that and put that grain of salt while you're watching it, to say, I know it's fake, it's entertaining, but I know it's fake, and so I should never ever compare myself to that or try to live up to that standard. Does that make sense? So
yeah, I kind of want to touch on the fact that about the innocence, how she portrays herself is very innocent. In the DM she sent me, I feel like it was less mean as Sunkissed Mama, but she's still being very condescending. And something she says a lot in her vlogs, I feel like, is I don't know, like, specifically just to me, she said, I'm not sure what happened to you in your life, but I really hope you find happiness and replace it with hatred.
I am not a confrontational person at all. I'm so sorry for what happened to you in life.
I'm not a confrontational person at all.
The reason I didn't talk much in the live is because I was kind of a ticking time bomb, and I knew that, because they both had really hurt Chloe, and I was ready to just like scream at them because I was hurt by them. And I was like, that's why I kind of let Serena take it over, because I was like, if I start talking, I'm not going to stop, and it's just all going to come out.
Oh, I saw the fire. I saw the fire. When someone says that to you, again, and you guys are young, and I'm glad that you guys are learning these lessons. You saw right through it. I hate when someone says, I don't know what happened to you to make you this way, but I really, and they give you the emoji with the two hearts. They're like, I love you though. That is what's called condescension. And that is actually what they're doing, is they're putting themselves above you. They think they're better than everybody. Jesssfam thinks she's better than everybody because for the main fact that she's got a damn Jesssfam sign on her living room wall. To me, that's like, I know that's so semantics, but that to me is one of the most crazy, just disgusting, like, narcissistic things I've ever seen anybody ever do. And this is why Jesssfam doesn't have any real friends. And so when people stalk her, do you guys remember that family in Nashville that followed her to the booze bus with all the other girls? She encourages that behavior because that's how Sunkissed found her. So they said, okay, well, Sunkissed got her star rose because of that. We're going to go do the same thing. Next, what's it going to be? And I told you this in the chat before. That person that gave me those details has also told me that people approach her kids when they're not around for autographs and everything else in public. And that is really dangerous, because what's it going to take? Kids are going to be at the park. Someone's going to take them. I've said this on my channel multiple times. Why are we waiting for a kid to be kidnapped, hurt, or otherwise before we ever make a change in how this works and how we glorify these family vloggers? Because in the end, the only people that are going to suffer from all of this are the kids. They're the only ones who are going to have their privacy taken away. I'm going to ask you girls a question because this is one that really, really hits me hard. I have a daughter, she's 9, and I have 3 sons. Okay, I have a 19-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 6-year-old. And my daughter is 9. She's beautiful. She's smart. But man, this makes me angry. There are family vloggers out there like Jesssfam, and I'm pretty sure Jess is going to do this soon, and all these other. When their daughter has their period, and I know this is, I don't want to like whatever. It is what it is. It's not gross. Period is natural.
They're gonna make like a whole video,
but they make videos about it. How do you guys feel about this? You guys seem to follow family vloggers. What does that make you? Do you like that? Is it something you find interesting? Is it like informational, or do you, when you're doing the shaving the legs, the period shopping, the bra shopping? How does that make you guys feel as consumers of this product?
That makes me feel so uncomfortable because I know if my family were to share that, I would get so embarrassed. Like,
right?
I don't know. That's just like weird. Also, I feel like that's very easy for like something to be interesting to pedophiles and stuff like that. Like, that's very strange to me.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And that's what I was saying before. It's that they know who's watching. And they know those boosted videos like bra shopping or period kits or shaving legs. Those get massive boosts. Teeth is one of the big ones too. They get boosts in plays, okay? And they bring money in, big money. And so when they see that, they will continue to do that. But I wanted to get your take on it because I don't think any of you here, I think what you said to Serena, I think all of Julia, Hannah, and Chloe all probably think the same thing, that if your parents were to share that with the world, how would that make you feel?
I'd be so uncomfortable.
Very much uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think about that. There's like, it's a comedy video. It's about the girl and like she fakes her period because all of her friends got her period and her mom throws her the period party. And every time I watch that video, it's hilarious.
Okay.
But I always think if my parents did this, I would feel so uncomfortable. So when I go on YouTube and I see these parents, like, as you say, like exploiting their kids, like going through puberty and growing up, like, sure, that's a natural thing. You can talk about that, but talk about that with your own experiences because you're a grown woman and like that is like a little girl and people are going to, it just makes me so uncomfortable and angry.
And that's again, as a dad, a lot of people call me out like, well, you're a guy, you can't say anything. But I wanted to get your perspective because I think this is what a lot of people think. But what people don't realize is these kids are groomed to be this way. Like these parents coerce their children into doing these videos. I know that the Jesssfam specifically, don't ever watch the Jesssfam if you do.
Yeah,
but she has told her daughter, and I got this from her dad, her bio dad, and her bio aunt, okay, who told her, we need to do these videos because single dads need to know how to do this. And they coerce them into saying, well, if we don't do a video this week, well, we can't do this, or we can't, you can't have the amazing bikes and all the cool video games and all. They coerce their children into doing it by saying, all this that we have here is because we vlog. But a child should never, ever, ever, ever have put on their shoulders the weight of supporting a family. It should never be the case. And in these family vlogs, it is literally the case. Yeah. And those kids inadvertently have all this pressure put on them to act and be these way on camera, and a lot of it's fake. And there is, again, not only are they missing their privacy that they're never going to get back for the rest of their lives, okay? But they're also the weight of the world is on their shoulders, and the parents will coerce them to saying, well, if we don't do a video, we can't pay rent. You should never ever tell your kids these types of things, and you know that they do, and that makes me angry.
Yeah, I saw the period video, like the exact one you were talking about with like Gabriella or whatever. And when I was watching that and when they were like underwear shopping, I got like super uncomfortable. Like, like I get shopping with your daughter, like you should do that, but like, why are you picking out like which underwear she should wear, which underwear she should pack in her period thing? Like, why? They could have done that off camera. They did many things off camera. They went shopping. Yeah, they went grocery shopping for their off camera. So like, I just Well, she measured her daughter's chest on the camera. And the Jesssfam is one of the biggest ones. Like there's a bunch of them like this. They exploit their teenage daughters, and those videos get tons of hits for them, and it's just disgusting. And they know the problem is, and it's not that they're not innocent. They don't, oh, we didn't know that people, they know exactly the demographics of who's watching them, and they know, and they don't care. That's the problem. And again, your perspective is so important to this because you guys are kind of in that walk of life that it's important to get your perspective. Say, would you like this done to you? And I'm hearing from you guys all, no, you wouldn't. And so that's really important in this conversation.
This means so much because, like, I mean, seeing all the people, like, I don't know, like I feel like specifically Chloe and Serena both got a lot of hate from Sunkissed Mama joining the live. So having like even just going to the YouTube comment section and having these people say like, this is like, you guys are so well spoken, like good for you guys, like this was really awesome. It's like really important to us because I feel like we were all very hurt in this situation. And yeah, and seeing all these people like supporting us is very, it's just, I feel like it's important. And it feels really good. It's validating, yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Did you guys receive, and this is an important question because I called Jesssfam out for this, and I'm hoping she did that live to try to mitigate it. Were you guys receiving any DMs from hate from adults?
So many. Every single account I saw DM me was an adult. It would be like, da-da-da, mama of blah, 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 all these kids. And I'm like, oh my God, like you need to take care of your kids, not make fun of us.
People went live talking about our situation. Like, right after.
Okay. Adults did. Okay. And Chloe, what did you get?
I got wished death by adults. Okay. I'm like.
And so this is the problem, guys. And this is why this is so bad. And this is why Sunkissed Mama needed to come out with a public apology. What they need to do next, and they're watching this, you know they are. Sunkissed Mama and Jesssfam, what you need to do is come out and tell your stupid, crazy adult stans to stop coming after teenage girls in their DMs and wishing death on them. You can stop this by saying, it's our fault, they're not to blame, leave them alone. You guys make sure you screenshot every single one of those things that people send you, okay? And you send them to me if you're willing to, okay? I will call every single one of them out in my next video on this because that is, of all the things that we've talked about, that is one of the most unacceptable. You know, she comes in and calls you lame or whatever and says you're pressed, whatever that means, cap, no cap. I don't know what all these phrases are you guys use, but what she did was wrong, but what she did, they did that on purpose because they knew you guys were going to catch hate for that, okay? So you make sure you screenshot every single one of those, you send them to me, and I will call them out. I won't dox them, but I will call them out because that is, if you were if I was your dad and I saw that, nope, is what I'm saying. I'm like, I would freak. So I'm sure your parents have. You know, I know you guys talk to your parents about this stuff, and I know that Serena, your aunt, your mom went to bat for you, which is great. But just make sure you guys screenshot that stuff and talk to your parents about the dangers of this because crazy people will do crazy things when you interrupt their thing that they love.
I want to add to that point is I even reposted it on my story and I was like, not y'all sending death threats to a minor.
Right?
And everyone viewed my story, but not one of them replied back. I mean, I wasn't expecting anything, but I feel like at least there would be some sort of response because I don't think why would you wish well, especially on a minor who I wasn't doing anything wrong now that I know. Like why would you wish death on them for having their own opinion?
This is the problem. And Jesssfam and Talia come in there. They know full well that their crazy stans are going to come after you. They know it. And they could have said, all they had to do is say, hey, look, we had an argument with these girls. Please don't send them any hate. That's the first thing like all of us commentators generally do is like, don't, in my chat, if you go into my lives, my premieres, my mods are always in there. Please don't send hate to anybody that we're talking about. We're snarking on them, yes, but please don't. They have to come out. It's on them now. Kind of like the Travis Scott situation where he didn't shut down the concert and 8 people died. It's kind of on them now to come out and mitigate this to say, and I'm calling them out right now, Talia and Jesssfam. You guys right now need to come out on your Instagram or Facebook, whatever you need to do, and you need to say, stop sending these girls death threats. That is unacceptable. And if they don't, I'm going to be very angry. And I think your parents should be angry. And I mean even legal levels of angry is what I'm saying, if you get my drift. That's what I'm saying. These are adults who have very much tons of power and influence on the internet because Jesssfam has over 1 million subs on YouTube, okay? Talia has 200,000, plus they have TikTok galore. What they're doing is using their influence to target you. And that, I'm not sure that's not illegal, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say there. So that's what I'm saying.
Speaking of TikTok, what do you call that? Talia posted a TikTok about with the stalker.
Yes.
Yeah.
You saw that too.
You saw that?
Again, I saw it, and she said the stalker, and then they did this stupid dance where they bent over. It was stupid, and
chest bump.
And it didn't even. And again, if they were super sorry to you, that was done after the apology, by the way. And then Talia also did the 6ix9ine thing. You're mad, haters stay. I have it all screened.
I want to know how long did it take her to memorize those lyrics? Because
she just it was disgusting.
To 6ix9ine, that's like one of the red flags.
Yes.
One more thing I'd like to add.
Go ahead,
Hannah. Something I'd like to add is like Talia must be very scared because someone asked, like in her most recent post, someone asked about like they were saying they had said we're so sorry about what happened with your fans and everything, and she explained it. And one of our friends like came out against it, but Talia deleted it. And I said never once did anyone say Talia joined this high school drama. If high school drama is stating an opinion, you need to learn the real definition of drama. None of the fan pages were trashing or attacking you. You have all the right to defend yourself, but when you're twisting it and making everyone think the minors are in the wrong when they're stating an opinion, that is wrong. And she said, oh, you were there because that would be the only reason you assumed this. And I said, I was there. I was the fourth girl that left so you could join. And right after I said that, she blocked me. So she must be scared of something.
Again, this is just what we're finding here is that the apologies and everything that they're saying is surface level and it's not genuine. It's not. It's just mitigating, and it's going to get worse for them because I don't think they realized that this was going to do what it did. I don't think they understood that coming after a bunch of teenagers is stupid. No.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't think it either. But us who are against what they do, this is like, I love it when they show us who they really are. People are finally starting to catch on. You know how many subscribers they've probably lost because of what they did to you girls? And justifiably so. They shouldn't have done what they did. The end. That's it.
Fan pages
I have one thing to add. No, literally everyone that we were friends with that's fan pages is like no longer in. Also, right after Jess got off that live, she went and she started liking every single fan pages post because she knew she messed up. Like she never likes it, and she all of a sudden was like, boom, 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 hitting up every fan page.
I hope they see through that because that's just gross.
Yeah,
that's we agency. That's for people saying you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this.
Yeah, she only if they don't like birthdays and.
Yeah, if they don't come out and I'm calling them on this, if they don't come out soon and say our fans who love us, if you love us, you need to leave these girls alone. You need to leave them alone. And stop sending them death threats. And they could say, you know what they're going to say, though? It's not our fault. That's not our responsibility. But all they had to do was leave it alone. They didn't have to come and talk to you. You guys wouldn't have been berated. You wouldn't have had death threats, Chloe. None of this would have happened if they didn't come into your chat. And you didn't invite them. They came in guns ablazing.
Talia unfollowed me, so she had to search up my page or something.
And she's still viewing stories.
No, and also it's like...
Something. Go ahead, Serena.
They kept on like saying in their comments and like on the live that we were begging them to join. We literally said specifically that we weren't even sure if we wanted to let them in because we weren't trying to start something.
Yeah.
Because you guys are nice.
Back to was saying about the TikTok. So there was a comment someone commented and bullying teenagers, and Talia responded back, "Who, me?" And that
I saw that
heart. I was like. So I commented on because I was on my account on TikTok on my mind. I was like, ... And she knows it's me because my name.
Yep.
And then I got blocked. And
again, they're just scared. They're cowards.
Yeah, I'd like to bring up something that's kind of funny. Is Talia must be so embarrassed from commenting on my main account on my Disney post because she commented on my main account and my sisters were tagged in that post, and I was kind of waiting for my sisters to like chime in and be like, what are you doing? But like 2 days later, my friend literally commented on the post and he was like, I can't believe a grown woman is coming at you. Yeah. Like, this is crazy. And I'm like, that just must be, it's embarrassing, honestly, for them.
You guys are exactly right. This is where we'll end it here tonight because I know you guys get it. I'm way past my bedtime, but it is embarrassing what they did. They know it's embarrassing and they regret it, but only because it's detrimental to them. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to mobilize people to make sure that Disney knows that they're on their way. Just make sure they just keep an eye out. I'm not gonna have any power, but like Disney doesn't mess around with that COVID stuff, right? If she tests positive, they're not gonna go. You know, she's not gonna test again before she goes, right? That's everything to her, and you guys kind of just messed with that, and that's what imagine being so angry you just can't go to Disney for the 10th time. And maybe you guys know this. I've asked this question of my group, and it's called The Problem with Family Vloggers / DCP on Facebook. How you guys might know this because you watch a lot. How much school does her kids miss?
We had a discussion about how much school they miss.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Hannah specifically were getting very fumed. We were sending back like voice messages to each other in a group chat, and we were just talking about how, like, you know, now that Lily is going to like the 6th grade, that's such an important year because you're transitioning from, oh, you missed an assignment, it's like whatever, you know, elementary school is just kind of like there, and then you're going into like, now you have letter grades and you have zeros and you have so much to focus on, and it's like, how do her kids miss so much school? We were so, like, it was crazy to us.
So I'm not the only one thinking that. Go ahead, Hannah.
Yeah, the thing is, for Lilia, like 6th grades, like beyond, that's when like parents don't, like, I don't know if it's like for you too with your kids, but like that's when parents don't really understand what to like how to help. So
how do I do this math? I can't do the math in grade 3. So I you know what I'm saying? Like I can't even do long division on paper anymore. So you're right. This is where the students kind of like need their teachers. They need to do their homework. And okay, guys, I know I'm making fun of her. Jesssfam can't do math either. Like I don't even know she graduated. Like she's not smart at all. So she's not going to be able to help them. Plus she's busy vlogging. Chris is up there busy podcasting, and they're busy letting the cameras take care of their kids. Okay. Their mom is there who's a teacher, which hopefully, or their grandmother, which is probably hopefully a really good thing. Maybe that's how she's mitigating it by saying, well, I've got my mom who's a teacher who can teach them.
I mean, that's how they got their education during COVID. So hopefully that's doing something.
Cool. All right. Well, so I probably will love to have you guys back on because you guys are you're awesome. I encourage you to start your own channels in this vein, doing something really positive with what you guys have here. Really cool. If you need help, let me know. I'm willing to help you. But can I just say thank you so much for your time. You guys are amazing, and again, be encouraged that none of this is your fault, and that I'm glad that you guys spoke up.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. This was awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
No, it was great.
This is actually like really fun, and I feel like there's more to the story that should also be told, but it's already an hour.
You guys have my email. You let me know if there's anything. There's so much we could talk about. There's so many screenshots to share. There's more to this story, obviously. Let me know if they reach out to you again after this, and we'll keep track of everything. Just keep me in the loop, and we'll make sure that they are held accountable for what they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have a good evening, and get to bed. You guys way past your bedtime.
We will. I am. I'm tired.
Yeah. Tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye.
So you guys have it. It was a great conversation. Those girls have a lot of great things to say, not just about this whole Jesssfam and Sunkissed Mama situation, but about like these are some of the people that watch them. These are the girls that are influenced by Jesssfam and family vloggers, and hearing their words about things like it makes me uncomfortable to see those types of things is really justifying what we're doing here. Really, really important conversation. Really good. So we're gonna cover on the next video all the lives Jesssfam did and Sunkissed Mama and all these people that they keep doubling down on their stupidity. They were amazing, and make sure you leave a comment below and give them a shout out and say how brave and incredible they were and telling us their truth, and it was really good. So take a deep breath, everybody. That was an incredible interview. I really enjoyed that. I got a lot out of it. I love talking to smart teenagers because we get a glimpse into something that we often don't get to see, which is really cool. So they're valuable, they're important, and they're incredible. And thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.